Hello everybody and welcome to another Be Everywhere Academy training session, an exciting session for you today, covering some new functionality that's just been added to vWriter, literally in the past couple of days or so. So let's just see what we're going to be covering. We're going to look at the new task management capabilities. So that means that now this has been added into the system, that not only can you now automate content marketing activities, you can now also manage and organize everything else through what we call tasks, and we'll go into how that works during this training session. You can manage and monitor all content marketing activities, and we'll see exactly how this works as we go through the training. Delegate tasks to members of your team, set deadlines for people, collaborate with them, schedule tasks for the future. So it could be something that you want done in a month or so, and you can do that automatically as well. Manage and organize your own tasks. So you can add things into the system that just allows you to keep organized as well. And through publishing channels, you can automatically assign and delegate tasks on an ongoing basis. And this is through something called channel triggers, which we'll be getting into. And through the task manager, which I'll show you a bit later on, you can see exactly what's pending in terms of tasks, what's currently in progress and what's already completed. So you can really keep tabs on everything going on in your business for content marketing purposes. You can also use tasks for anything else you want to, of course, as well. But first of all, you may have noticed if you've logged in the past day or two that the sidebar, the menu, and other navigation aspects have changed a little bit around the site. And that's really based on listening to feedback from you guys. So it's now simpler and easier, more intuitive to find your way around. And your feedback is always really welcome. Of course, it really does feed into how the website develops over time. So keep that coming. So we're going to look at the sidebar, how that's changed. I'm just really briefly going to run through it all just to orient yourselves to the site when you log in, so you know where everything is. So you know where everything is. So we've got the sidebar and changes to the menu as well. It's all a lot more simplified. So in terms of the sidebar, first of all, you'll see that on the right-hand side of all the buttons on the sidebar, you've got a plus button, and that really has the same function all the way through. So it allows you to add what you see on the left on the main button there. So if you click tasks, that allows you to go through to the task manager. And if you click the plus button there, the plus icon, it allows you to add a task. And that's the same pattern all the way through. So we've got the publishing channel manager and ability to add a publishing channel. The content manager, which shows your social posts, your articles, other content, and so on. There's one central location to manage all your content. And if you click the add button, it allows you to add a social post. So you can schedule one individually rather than one going through publishing channels, for example. The sources button gives you access to the content source manager. So this is where your feeds are, such as the feed for your blog, bulk data feeds, feed mixes, and so on. And if you add the plus button, of course, that will allow you to add a content source. So I'm sure you're getting the idea of how all this works. Social streams, that gives you an overview of what's going through all your social profiles, and the add button to add a new one. The article manager, that's for articles that you want to distribute to the top article sites in the system and to add an article straight away there. Blog post manager, add a blog post, same kind of thing. Profiles, and to add a social profile, simply click on the plus button there. All these functions are also on the top menu, but the sidebar gives you really quick access to all of these things. The social profile panel, similar to how it was before, is a scrollable panel once you get more than a few in there, and you can drag and drop these social profiles for things like posting. So when you set up an individual post for publishing channels, you can drag and drop there. If you want to remove a profile as well, you can drag and drop it back onto that sidebar, for example, from the channels manager, if you want to make any changes from there. And finally, fairly obvious, the order content button at the bottom. You'll see at the very bottom as well, it's got tour this page. That's the same as it was really. A lot of pages in the system have a tour facility where you can simply click that link and it gives you a really quick and easy orientation to the page that you're on. It'll just run through various aspects of it so you become familiar with it very quickly. So in terms of the menu, I'll just run through this quickly. It's really split now between the content and manage menus. There are a few other menus there before as well. So the content menu allows you to deal with the content elements within your account, so to speak, and the manage menu is where you do things like manage tasks, manage writers, and so on. But I'll run through just quickly what's on each menu. So we've got the content manager at the top, similar to how we have content on the sidebar there. And you've got publishing channels, the sub-menu there, giving access to the publishing channel manager to be able to add a publishing channel. And also you'll see the link shortening services there as well. So that's for Bitly, your Bitly account that you then use for publishing channels and so on to shorten your links. The social profiles menu, abilities to add a social profile, to add a social post, and the social streams there as well. Blogs for blog posts and actually managing your blogs as well as under there. Some guest posting functionality there as well. The article menu, all very similar kind of thing. So you've got the article manager, add article. You should find this very sort of intuitive to find your way around. The pen name manager there, add pen name as well. Content sources, as you'd expect, the content source manager, and then the ability to add the 3 different types of content source we have in the system. So add content source, which is the feed, so RSS feeds like you'll have on your blog or on other websites that provide an RSS feed. Add bulk data feed, where you can load up your own data, and add a feed mix, which is a mixture of other feeds from around the web. For example, you may have various blogs with their own RSS feeds, and you can mix them into a single feed that can then be treated as a single feed for publishing channels and so on. And order content at the bottom. On the manage menu, we have the new task manager and ability to add tasks, and we'll go through that very shortly. Team members, and this will become more relevant now with tasks as well, so the ability to add team members and team member manager. Projects, the usual project manager, add projects and view current projects, which you've probably seen on the previous version of the menu somewhere. And for writers, the writer team manager, add writer team and writer pool, which is really the pool of writers that you have worked with previously. So if you've already ordered content through the system, you'll see writers on there who you have previously worked with. The account menu, very similar. There's a few things being removed from there, so it's a bit simpler now as well. So the account details just gives you access to your login details, various aspects of the funds you have in your account and so on, and setting your settings for those. The ability to add funds, notification settings. Just have a quick look at that when you get a second. The ability to refer others to vWriter and earn through doing so. Our support system and archives. At the moment, that's for publishing channels. So if you want to remove an active publishing channel, that's effectively archived, so you can still reference it through that and log out. Inbox for communications between yourselves and writers, that's the same as it was before. The project menu, as it was before, so just switch between different projects within your account, and the ability to add a new one there as well. Return to the home page at any time through the home icon, and support again through the question icon on the top menu. So that's really a quick run through of navigational changes. There's also been a few enhancements on various other pages where it just allows you to navigate back to the relevant manager for the thing that you're looking at. So if you're looking at adding a publishing channel or editing one, you'll be able to quickly nip back to the publishing channel manager, and the same for content sources and pen names and so on through the system. So it just makes it a lot easier to find your way around. And as I said, any feedback on any of this would be really welcome. So we're always looking to improve things further. So let's move on to task management. We'll have a look at all the task management functionality within the system, starting with channel triggers. Now, these were what were called channel notifications, if you've looked at those at all. We'll also look at the task manager, and that's really where you're going to be managing all these tasks and seeing what's coming in, what's going out, seeing what's in progress, and so on. There's also the ability to add tasks directly into there for yourself or for your own team members. So these are accessible via publishing channels. So they're now called channel triggers, what were called channel notifications. So really with the addition of tasks now as well. So we still have the email notifications and programmatic post notifications. I won't be focusing on those in this session because they're covered by another Academy training session. So we're going to be looking specifically at tasks. You won't be able to access the channel triggers, as you can see here, until a particular publishing channel has been saved or activated. So if you're setting up a new one, you won't be able to get there immediately, but as soon as you've saved or activated that channel, you'll then be able to do so. And the beauty of the system is it really allows you to automatically delegate tasks to team members or even yourself. So tasks that come up regularly that are associated with when you publish content in a particular place, like you may have regular tasks that you want to do each time you published your blog. For example, those tasks can be automatically created through the system, delegated to members of your team or even yourself with email notifications going out to tell them if you want to that a new task is ready for them to do, and so on. And we'll go through all how that works. So once you've saved the publishing channel or you've activated it, you'll then see the tabs appear at the bottom for task, email, and post. So on the task tab there, if you just click the usual add icon to add a task, and that will bring up a pop-up window with the various details you then can add in to specify the task that you want to create. And really what you're doing is you're telling the system what tasks you want to be created each time a new piece of content is processed by that publishing channel. So for example, if you have a publishing channel based on your blog that becomes active each time your blog posts something new, then a new task will be created and delegated based on your settings here. And you can add as many as you want to each publishing channel. So it's up to you exactly how you do this. So you can choose who to assign it to. As you can see here on the right-hand side, you can choose to assign it to yourself or to members of your team, and there's a facility there to add a team member there as well. You would then just give it a name so it's easily identifiable both to yourself and whoever that task has been delegated to. You'll notice the link placeholder there. There's a few other placeholders such as for first name, as you can see on the right-hand side, for last name and name and so on. And these are filled in effectively each time that task is created and assigned to someone. So for example, in the example team here, I'm delegating to a team member called Sharon. So when that task is created, it would basically say, Sharon, please create SlideShare from, and then the link would be replaced with the new link that's come through to the publishing channel. So the link for your new blog post, for example, if that's what your publishing channel is based on. So we'll tell them exactly where to go, and you'll specify here what you would like them to do with that task. You can choose to have a delay period in there. So it will create the task straight away through the publishing channel each time a content item comes through, but it won't actually assign that task until it's got through that delay period. So for example, your team member won't be aware of that task until it's actually been assigned to them. And this is useful because, for example, if you're creating slide shares based on your blog post or other content, you're repurposing other content based on your blog post, you may not want all of that to be created in quick succession. So you've got very similar content going out to social media. So for example, you may want a few months between when the blog post is first published and when you have other content, such as a slide share based on that. And if you have a publishing channel based on your SlideShare account, if you then have videos created, you may want another few months break before you then create the next version of that content. So it allows you to keep all of that under control without having to manage it through spreadsheets and calendars, and that all that side of things can turn into a bit of a nightmare if you're not careful. So this really simplifies everything and enables you to keep on top of it all as well through the task manager. You can also specify a deadline, and this just helps to keep the tasks under control. So you may want it completed within a week, for example, for your team member to do that within a week. So they know what's expected of them, and they're also notified if things go beyond the deadline period. And as we'll see, it's also very visible on your own task manager area. So it becomes very simple to see what's in progress and what should have been completed by now, and so on. This last option is ticked by default, basically to notify the person who each task will be assigned to by email, so they know that something new has come in. That's probably a good idea to keep that ticked. Click submit, and then that will appear back under the channel triggers on that task menu. So you can see here the task that was created is now showing. It's now active, so it means every time something new comes through the publishing channel, it will activate that channel trigger, and that channel trigger will trigger the creation of a task for that team member, for yourself, and let them know, and so on. You'll see the icons on the right-hand side. You can pause a task at any time, so there may be a time where you don't want it to run for whatever reason, so you can pause and resume really easily from there, and it will just stop those tasks being assigned. If you want to edit the settings at any time, it's the usual cog icon for that, and of course the ability to delete a task as well. So in terms of accessing the task manager, that's available, as we've seen already, from the top of the sidebar. So the tasks on the sidebar there, or tasks on the manage menu, and then over to task manager. It's probably going to be easier all the time just to hit tasks on the sidebar there. You can see here, so this is the task manager, and you can see there that a task there, in this example, it's one I've assigned to myself. That's showing in bold. It's overdue. It was due a day or so ago, based on today's date when I'm doing this training. So it's really visible and really obvious that something is overdue. That appears as well for the team member when they log in, and I'll show you what they see as well on their side. So if something is overdue for them as well, they will see that in bold as well, so it's very clear that should have been completed by now. So to view a task, you can just click the task itself, click the status there, or click the preview icon there on the right-hand side. And I'll just show you what you see when you view a task. So you see who it's assigned to, and so on. You can click through to that team member if you want to, the project, the name, and you'll see now as well that the link has been, the link placeholder that we saw before, that's been replaced with the actual link to the content item that came through the publishing channel. So it tells the team member or who it's been assigned to exactly where to go and what to do. And there's the ability there to add a comment, so it allows collaboration on that task. So you may have an update on that task that you want to send, and that they'll be notified as soon as you add a comment there. You can easily click through to edit the task settings just by clicking on the icon there. And if you want to add a comment, you can simply type your comment in and add comment. You can also mark it complete if you want to move that over to the complete tab within the task manager, and it won't appear in the normal task tab anymore. Again, you can click the cog icon there to edit the task settings. So these are tasks that have now been created by the publishing channel. They've come into the task manager, and you can edit these individually now if you want to fine tune anything in that task. For example, you may want to adjust the deadline for a particular reason. You may want to adjust the instructions, or even change who it's assigned to. It may be something that's been assigned to yourself, and now you've got an assistant to help you with it, and you can move it to them if you want to as a team member. And you can even reschedule it, so it could be that it's just not practical for whatever reason to do it within the current time frame, and you might just want to move it on a few days or a week or something similar. So it just gives you that capability. There'll be times as well where you want to go back to the channel trigger that actually created this task, and you can just do that through the publishing channel icon there on the right hand side, and access the originating publishing channel for this task. And of course delete any task as well. That'll just remove it from the system completely. So it gives you all that side of control. So for viewing the task, this is what a team member sees when they log in. So they get a lot less information. That they won't see tasks that have been created for anybody else. So they'll only see the tasks that have been created for them. So they can see exactly what they have to do and be able to click through and view anything that they need to. So they'll just view the task. They'll see something very similar to what you would see on their side. When they've completed, they can just mark it complete and add a comment if they want to show you where that work is. Mark it complete, and you can actually choose whether or not to auto approve these tasks or whether you would like to review them. For this example, it's set in the system for this particular task that you want to review them when they're completed. So it will show you a new status of pending review, and you'll be notified that the team member has finished that task. So you can just click on it, view what they've entered on the task, and once you've reviewed it, you may want some changes done to it. You can just go back and forth in that kind of collaborative way, really. So you can request a revision on it. So just click request revision with any comments, and it will then change status again to revision requested. The team member will get a notification that they need to make some kind of amendment on it, so they'll get a notification on their side. As you can see, that they will also see revision requested, so they know exactly what the status is of that particular task. They can click through and just do the work that's required with the revision, send it back to you. So they'd essentially mark it complete again with a comment. You can see that our fictional Sharon here has just entered that this is now done, thanks, as a comment. And after you've further reviewed it, you can then mark it complete. And once you've marked it complete, it will then appear on your completed tab within the task manager. So that just allows you to keep tabs on what's been completed in the past, essentially. And as soon as that's completed, the team member is notified that that's all finished for them. They can reschedule a task as well, as I briefly mentioned earlier on. When you reschedule it, you can notify whoever is assigned to the task. So it says me there, it says notify me when assigned. That will change to whoever it's been assigned to. So if the task was for Sharon, it would say notify Sharon when assigned, for example. So you can just reschedule it to some other time, and as soon as that is assigned again, they will get a notification. If you're switching between team members or switching between who's assigned on that task, the person who was assigned before will get notified that it's no longer on their task list. And the same for rescheduling and so on. They will just, get that notification that it's no longer there for them to do, and then be notified again when it's reassigned for them or assigned to them. And for pending tasks, they will show on your pending tab here. This won't show for team members at all. So this is your own view of it at a management level. You can see what's pending for different people and what's coming up. So it allows you to make any adjustments to them. There might be things that you have pending that won't be assigned till next week, but you need it done more urgently. So it just allows you to bring that forward, for example, and to make scheduling changes as you need to, just to keep tabs on things, or just really to have an overview of what's coming up and what kind of workload people have. You can also add tasks directly. So what we've seen so far are tasks that have been added into the system automatically through publishing channels and essentially assigned and delegated to people automatically on an ongoing basis. You can also add tasks manually, as we'll go through now, and it's a very similar process. You'll decide who that task is going to be assigned to, and as soon as it's added, it will show immediately back on your task manager. You can select the project that you want that task to go into, so it's all organized in projects as well. But by the way, for anything coming through publishing channels, the task will basically take on the project of the parent publishing channel. So here we've got the project vWriter content. If the publishing channel was in that project, then the tasks that are created will also show up in that project. You call it again what you want to, so exactly the same as we had before. You'll notice here that we don't have the placeholders. That's because we're creating a task that's immediately going to be assigned. We're not going to, the placeholders are really a template for tasks to be created from, whereas this we're creating here an immediate task for somebody. So you really want the link in the description and so on. You can set a deadline again, just as we've seen before. You can choose to assign that immediately, or you may, as we've seen, you may want to assign that at some future point. So it just allows you to plan what's going to be coming up and choose whether to notify the person as before. And as soon as that's been added into the system, it will show either on your tasks tab if it's been assigned immediately, or if it's a future task, it will show on the pending tab. So that really runs you through the task manager. And I'm really looking forward to getting that integrated into my own business as well. It's only just come onto the system in the past couple of days or so. So I'll just run through really what you can do now, and this goes back to the very beginning as well. So now hopefully you can see how to manage and monitor all different types of content marketing activities, whether they are automatically generated tasks through publishing channels or other things that you add into the system here as well. The ability to delegate those tasks to members of your team, set deadlines, collaborate with them through comments going back and forth and so on. The ability to schedule tasks for the future. Manage and organize your own tasks, so you'll be able to put things on here and just see when the deadlines are and manage them and organize them in that way. Automatically assign and delegate tasks through publishing channels, and really have a really good overview of what's pending, what's in progress, what's been completed already. And it just makes the whole organization of content marketing, which can be a real nightmare for a lot of businesses, and it puts a lot of businesses off even going there, because there's so much to do and to try and organize and everything. This makes it so much simpler. It's untrue. So it gives you all that capability. So I hope you found that interesting, and please go ahead and have a play around with the task management functionality.